A thriller / road movie / drama / war movie / cynical, political and possibly futuristic film from Kazakhstan? What is that all about? Hi there, it's Micha. Join me for this review if you like to find out. The setting is a land ruled by violence, where criminals abuse the local citizens and the corrupt police is even worse. There we meet Tamara, a young mother who can't find her son and seeks out help from the police, who totally ignore her pleas as they are more focused on torturing locals into forced confessions. Among them we find Brayjuk, who just returned after a stint in prison to his former job as professional torturer for the police. The two run into each other at the precinct at the very moment guerrilla forces attack the building, finally revolting against the law enforcers for failing to enforce said law. To avoid being executed by the rebel mob, Brayjuk sneakily pretends not to be a cop, but to help Tamara find her son Timka. But of course, once they made it to relative safety, he tried to ditch the helpless mother. But after realizing that Timka was most likely taken by Taha, an infamous and ruthless child trafficker, he decides to help her. Because he also has a score to settle with that monster for also taking something from him in the past. This movie was quite a tough watch, not just for the bleak outlook at life everyone in the story has, but even more so for the portrayal of the lead characters. Brayjuk is a broken man, someone who lost everything and everyone he loved. And even though he helps Tamara, he mistreats her as well, and would have had no problem to sacrifice her or leave her behind if it benefits his agenda. Every time you think he may have turned over a new leaf and reconnected with his humanity, you find out to be wrong. Helping her is just a pragmatic exercise, and this only slightly changes as the plot develops. I guess he may be relatable for someone who also lost everything, which fortunately is not the case for me, so it was hard to find anything that is likable in his character. Even the word anti-hero seems to be too much here. However, he still manages to be helpful at times. On the other hand, Tamara is also hard to relate to for similar reasons, because she also is utterly broken. However, with her it manifests in a different way. At the start of the movie I thought that she is in shock because her son was taken, causing her to act apathetic. She doesn't really understand what is happening around her and often starts to laugh hysterically when she is in danger or being manhandled. However, we quickly realize that she apparently always acts that way, either because of an intellectual disability or, more likely, as the results of years of being abused and violated, which led to her being disconnected from her emotions as a coping mechanism to survive in that environment. So in some regards they are kindred souls, even though they act and deal with their surroundings in totally different ways. Anyway, as both are not really relatable, we can at least sympathize with Tamara, which makes up for a lot. That setup though prevented me from enjoying it, but I guess the movie never had the intention to entertain us in the classical sense. It wanted to show us the tough reality some people in this world have to face, at least that is what I gathered. To be fair, and as a quick side note, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever if this movie that was filmed in Kazakhstan was showcasing a realistic portrayal of events that currently happen in some parts of a country, something that happened in the past, or a totally or partially fictionalized representation of the country. Maybe it is even meant as a futuristic, post-apocalyptic take on what may be. According to Human Rights Watch, the country heavily restricts freedom of assembly, speech and religion and is classified as an authoritarian regime, though some internal forces try to rectify the situation. Sorry for not having done a deep dive into the background, but details around the movie are hard to come by. As of now, it was only shown in Kazakhstan itself, which could indicate an internal change, but I don't want to speculate about that in regards of a movie's background and intention. There's also very little you can find out about it online to shed more light on it, as it otherwise was only screened at some festivals. Regarding image material, only a few screenshots and a 15-second long teaser trailer are available, as you may have noticed by the lack of clips and images in this review compared to my regular posts. So much about that. Otherwise, this film has some strong road movie elements, as the two main characters travel along to catch up with the bad guy Taha, who transports a whole lot of kids in a caravan of vehicles. There is some cynical humor in it as well and a proper helping of action. As I said, it is engaging and it has solid production values. The acting is also strong, it is just not a feel-good movie and doesn't want to be one. For that reason, I wasn't jumping up and down, which again is by design, but it was fascinating nevertheless. I'm not sure though into what score that will translate, which is the very next thing I have to figure out. And with that being said, let's get to the rating. Well, yes, as mentioned, this movie was a tough watch, but I can't say it wasn't engaging in its own right. I certainly wasn't bored, but also not entertained, at least not in a popcorn movie kind of way. It is likely not a movie I would revisit anytime soon, but I might sometime in the further future. Right now I truly have a tough time rating it, so I will try this. For me it is a 7 out of 10 points, though while watching the movie I likely would have scored it lower at around 5 out of 10. Remembering it to script this review somehow made me appreciate it more. I guess it just gets better with temporal distance. As guidance for you, if you need an attachment figure in a movie even more than I do, it may be only a 5 out of 10 for you. But that could still mean it is worth a watch. If you don't need relatability, you can add a point or even 2, bringing it up to 8 or 9 out of 10 points. Either way, the movie for sure is unique enough to make it worth our while, however you look at it. What about you? Do you need to have a relatable character in a movie, or does one you can sympathize with suffice? Do you know more about the political or historical background of a movie? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share or subscribe. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching. Helping her is just a pragmatic exercise, and this only slightly changes. However, with her it manifests in a... Maybe it is even meant as a futuristic, post-apocalyptic...